Do you believe in Bigfoot? That was the question. It all began at a nearby park when I saw a sign advertising a talk on Bigfoot by a national expert. Well, when the words Bigfoot, free, and a park close enough to me that I can walk to it all appear in the same sentence, I've got to be there. I got there 45 minutes early so that I could get a seat in the front row in case my hearing aid batteries died, only to find that most of the 200 chairs were already occupied. In fact, there weren't any vacant seats in the first 5 rows. There was a table set up behind the speaker's podium, and on the table was a plaster cast of an enormous footprint, t-shirts with slogans for true believers, and stacks of books with grainy photos of some kind of huge hairy creature. Well, I imagined our expert would be a backwoods type with a long beard and bleary eyes from looking through the trees searching for Bigfoot. Our expert wore khaki pants. He had a neat plaid shirt and a crew cut, and he had brought along some boxes of his daughter's Girl Scout cookies to sell, which somehow made him seem sensible and trustworthy. And then he began telling us stories about creatures tall enough to look into a second-story cabin window, creatures intelligent enough to save a lost child, and hungry enough to raid food supplies from isolated cabins on a regular basis. He told us about his own personal encounter with Bigfoot, and the hair on the back of my neck stood up more than once. At the end of his talk, he asked the question, "How many of you believe in Bigfoot?" Almost everybody in the room raised a hand. I wanted to raise my hand too, but I couldn't. It wasn't that I believed or disbelieved in Bigfoot, it's just that until that afternoon, I'd really not thought much about Bigfoot. I found myself wishing the expert had asked a different question. I wished he had asked, how many of you believe in the possibility that such creatures might exist? If that had been his question, my hand would have been one of the first ones up, because I believe we live in an incredible universe full of endless possibilities with far more unknowns than we can begin to imagine. I believe that there are concepts about the purpose and meaning of life that we've not yet grasped, that are far greater than the things we think we know. When we believe in possibilities, life becomes an amazing adventure where discoveries are always waiting, hidden just out of sight. The question isn't whether or not Bigfoot exists. The deeper question is whether or not we have the courage to believe in possibilities.